Hello, this is RobotnikIsSexy once again with a battle video, and this is a very special battle I had at on Friday at what would have been 7 in the morning. I hadn't even gone to bed yet. That Friday night was really insane. I stayed up and partied and didn't go to sleep until like 10, and I had to help my dad move a bookshelf, which is why I didn't go to sleep until 10. But while waiting for that to happen, I had this battle on Strebby's Wi-Fi chat, and it was really good. It was a underused battle, and I tried out a lot of different Pokemon, 3 defensive walls and 3 speedy Pokemon, and it seemed to work out pretty well, and it was a really nice game. It was a good solid 35 turns, and in the team lineup I could see the Vulpix before the battle started. I thought he was going to withdraw and switch into a different guy, so I thought I would lock myself into the safe Thunderbolt. But it turns out that is a bad idea. Should have gone for Earth Power. He just Will-O-Wisps me. And I'm expecting Confuse Ray or some other statusy thing. So I go into Mr. Pants, and he takes that Flamethrower like a beast, because the Vulpix is probably like all HP and defense or something. He goes into his own bouncing Espeon, but mine is just setting up all day, and I've already gotten a free sub because he switched, and I've already gotten 1 Calm Mind, and I'm gonna go for 2 or 1 more Calm Minds. And the sun is up, and this is underused, so I am actually seeing a Victor Bell, who's actually one of my all-time favorites, but he is pretty never used. But with Infinite Sun, he has some potential, and the new growth mechanics are pretty cool. Instead of breaking my sub, though, he goes for 2 growths, which is not really a good thing. He should have broken my sub, or something. But instead, he allowed my sub to exist, which means I'm going to get to wreck him and his Donphan pretty much for free, which is really awesome. So this is my first experience with Mr. Pants versus another Espeon, and I have to say it does have an advantage, because if the foe Espeon does not have Shadow Ball, I can just set up for a couple extra turns, which will be game changing. He goes into his deer thing. I know he's probably chlorophylled, and I suspect he's choice banded, because last time I ran into one of these things in a Sun team. It was choice banded, and it kicked my ass really hard. I go for that knockoff, and I knock off a Life Orb, which means he wasn't choice banded. And I go into Barney, and Barney is scarfed, but its speed is still not great enough to outspeed Bambi here, so he goes for that Nature Power, which of course turns to Earthquake. And I go into Beaky, who is a Overcoat Mandibuzz with max defense and HP, who I invented for Hail teams, actually. I make a really bad move, because this wouldn't be one of my RobotnikIsSexy uploads if I didn't make at least one small mistake. I forgot about his Espeon, and go for the Toxic, which of course bounces back and lands on my face, which is, it's kinda sucky. I go for the taunt on the switch, he goes for, this dude, and I'm pretty sure he's not gonna go into Espeon. I thought pretty hard about that, and he could have just switched into Espeon and given me another turn of toxic damage, which would have been what I would have done, but I wanted to be, safe, as they say. I try to roost off some toxic damage, but I've been around for 2 or 3 turns already, so roosting actually doesn't really help that much, especially with the added damage from Flamethrower. So I think I'm going to withdraw Beaky, who is named after a Warner Brothers character. He was a vulture who tried to eat Bugs Bunny, and he was really dopey. I go into Slowpro, who is the newest addition to my underused team, or any team, because I'm pretty sure this guy can stand on his own and overused as well. He gets a lucky burn, but I'm actually kind of laughing at the burn, because if he did have Toxic, that burn is really gonna suck for him, because a Toxic Slowpro is probably better. But then again, with Regenerator, I can switch out and reset the toxic damage thing and get health back. So I don't know. It's hard to say if burn or toxic is worse or better on a Regenerator Slowpro. Goes for that Horn Leech and does a fair amount of damage. I am pretty max defense. I'm 1 point off, but I don't think it matters that much. And I do get a lucky Scald Burn, which isn't really that lucky because 30% happens all the time. And I'm just generally lucky with Scald. I predict his damaging move, but since I knocked off his Life Orb and since he is burned, I know I can pretty much take anything he's got, so I'm sitting really pretty with Slowpro here, my newest member, who's just walling the hell out of a couple of his Pokemon, which makes me a very happy camper. I slack off some damage because that's really what I have to do. If I had attacked, I would have fainted next turn due to burn damage and Horn Leech damage. At this point he is fishing for a critical hit, which is not a bad strategy because critical hits do happen at least once or twice. I go for Psychic, it doesn't kill, and I'm really hoping I don't get crit, but he withdraws instead, which is what I was hoping for, and goes into this thing, which is quite overpowered, but at the same time his power is double-edged because he has the solar power. He uses Solar Beam, which does a Reuniclus amount of damage, but yeah, since I amnesia'd, I lived it. Instead of using Slack Off here, I went for a second Amnesia, which is a bad idea. But it didn't really make much of a difference, because even if I had used Slack Off, he could have fainted me with a second Solar Beam. And he is holding a Life Orb. So Solar Power plus Life Orb means I can just switch around and he'll die to recoil from attacking me, which is great. That's really the best thing I can do if I want to fodder anyone. If I wanna coffin fodder someone and they're going to damage themselves, that's just super cool. I go for Artie, the overpowered Ambipom. Whenever I use Ambipom, I feel like he should be in overused, or at least at the very bottom of overused, because... No, maybe not, I don't know. He really reigns supreme and underused. Like, he's quite good for underused. I coffin fodder Slowpro because it's the best thing I can really do, because I need Ambipom healthy for his super overpowered fake outs and double hits and stuff. Goes into Facebook, and I go for Artie, who counters Espeon in every way possible, even with mirror bounce. I use fake out, which does a lot of damage. It does half health, go for U-turn, that faints, and that is the game, everybody. So goodbye YouTube, and thanks for watching.